Alright guys, I am here to show you how to install a Extendmyseat bracket on a 2015 Honda Fit. This is the outer version. You can see the difference here is a square hole, and then here's the inner. It has this line instead. So again, the outer and the inner. And these are the lips, so these should be facing each other. As you can see right here, that's what will sit, that's what's form fitted to your vehicle. You'll also see some bolts here. You'll see I have four, they're 3/8 bolt, I believe. And these two, the instructions didn't reference those bolts at all, but once I get in there, we'll see how much that's needed. Let's see here. You'll also see I have a couple other tools that I might need. I have two screwdrivers, two flatheads, just in case. Usually I might use those to prop up the actual plastic things on the car, the plastic covers on the rails. I have a 14 millimeter and then a 17 millimeter and a ratchet there to install. So we'll go ahead and get started. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our 14 millimeter ratchet here, and we're going to go ahead and remove this bolt. Go ahead and make sure you set those aside. Back seat, the front seat's all the way forward. This might be the most challenging part, as those plastic covers are on there pretty good, and I might need my flathead screwdriver to go ahead and pry those up. And you want to be careful, as you obviously don't want to damage those. You'll have to replace those. So let's give those a shot. So prop this up a little bit. Should just pop out, you would think, but there's a little lip on here. So once you pop that out, you can see there's two lips right at the top that kind of goes underneath the bracket, and then there's one down there. So as you can see, that can be kind of hard to get out, but just use a screwdriver to go ahead and prop that up. We'll go ahead and do the other one. Just one hand. Kind of got it up already a little bit, but you'll see right on that lip is we're gonna have some trouble. It's a little tight. Once that's up, this should just pop right out. But remember, there's two lips, so you kind of have to get around it on one side. Since there is that lip, push down and then just pull it out, and it should work just the same on the other side. You want to come push down and push it out. Push down, out. There you go. And as you can see, that's those two lips that sit under the rail. So you kind of have to make sure you push those down to make sure you can prop that out. And as you know, obviously put those aside. Make sure you didn't damage them too bad if you did. And then here are those bolts. We'll go ahead and tackle those here. Make sure you don't lose those. Same with the other one. Shouldn't be too hard. If I can do it with one hand, you should be able to too. So I'm going to go to the front of the car now that all of our bolts are out. We're actually going to just lift this up, and you can see where the brackets will fit. You can see that lip on the inside right there. That's where our brackets. Take our brackets again. This I or this L right here, that'll be your inner bracket, so towards your on the inside of the car, and then this O right here, that'll be towards the outside of the car. So we're going to go ahead and start with our inside one. Let's see if we can do this here. I've got the brackets just about in place, but I didn't put them in there fully yet, as I want to show you guys how this should line up. As you can see, there's two holes. This first hole up front, that's going to bolt right to your car, okay? And then this second hole, that's what's going to mount your bracket right to it. So as you can see, once we get those in, this will go right into here. And we'll use the factory bolts that came with the seat to bolt into here. And then the bolts that came with Extendmyseat will bolt right into here. In place, you're going to want to hand tighten these. We are on the back, and here's what you're going to need for this part to mount the back of the bracket to the vehicle. You're going to need to pull those, that's where they supplied these longer bolts. You know, I don't believe you're going to use your factory ones to get this in. So what you're going to have to do is probably lift this up with the one hand, and you can kind of see that little hole in there. That's where you're going to thread your bracket to the car. So you're going to have to use either one hand or someone else hold the seat up while you do that. The bolt should look like I've hand tightened it. So then once you're going to, I'm still hand tightening it here. So this is where at the time you're going to have to, that's a 17 millimeter bolt. You have to take your 17 millimeter on your wrench here, and just you'll use that eventually, but just for now, keep it hand tightened. Here we are on the back of the car, and I want to show you what this looks like. Here's the brackets that we're going to go ahead and install to the frame. These are the bolts that are provided by Extendmyseat. They provided you two of those, as well as the washers to go with it. So they'll go right on top of this first hole here. But also underneath here, to just show you how it'll work, is you'll see the Extendmyseat bracket. There's that little cylinder that the bolt's going to go right through there and right to your frame. And for that, you're going to need a 17 millimeter socket. So we'll go ahead and hand tighten that first before we actually use that. And then once we get the seats attached, then we'll go ahead and tighten it fully. We are still in the back. Now that we have all of our brackets hand tightened, we're going to want to make sure those are nice and tight. Just as tight as a factory one should be. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our 17 millimeter here. There's our 17 millimeter ratchet attachment that we're going to go ahead and tighten these up. Up front, this is the bolts that are your factory. Again, they're those 14 millimeters, so you want to make sure you use that socket. We'll go ahead and tighten those so they're nice and tight. Okay, now that we have our brackets securely mounted to our vehicle, we're going to take a 14 millimeter bolt with a washer, and we're going to attach the seat through this hole. We're going to line it up with the seat and the Extendmy bracket. So you're going to move that over, and then you're just going to hand tighten all of them. Again, this will be a 14 millimeter bolt when you get there, but just now, just go ahead and hand tighten. We're going to do the same in the back. We're going to take our bolts and just hand tighten them in. They're all hand tightened. Last step is you just need to take your 14 millimeter all around, and we're just going to go ahead and tighten these up. Do the same in the front. Just slide your seat back. Same on this side. It's tightened. All we have to do is replace our caps. Back, we're going to go ahead and replace our plastic covers. And now you have your finished product from extendmyseat.com. Thank you guys for watching. Good luck.